Becoming a player defenders can't guard may sound like an impossible task for you, especially if you've been playing a small role in basketball your whole life. But becoming unguardable is actually simpler than you think, if you know what to do to get there. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 7 things that will turn you into a nightmare for any defender. Let's get into it. Alright, most players are passive. They don't go after what they want because they are afraid of making a mistake. So instead of playing free, they play not to make a mistake and fade into the background. And when you start playing that way, man, you can start to make yourself comfortable because you're going to be on the bench very soon. But here's a reframe I want you to have. Think about professional tag. I know, it's an actual sport. Watch how the person being chased moves around. They're cutting corners, finding small gaps. They're forcing their opponent into obstacles too. They never stop moving and they never make it easy. That's a scorer's mindset. And that strong scorer's mindset applies to how you get your points too. Because easy points will always beat tough buckets. So get your cardio up and run. Run around screens, cut back doors, set off-ball screens, and just be a nightmare to deal with. The moment you open TikTok or Instagram, your feed is flooded with insane handles and crazy athleticism. And it makes you want to do that too, right? But coaches don't care about that. They're not impressed by the guy spam dribbling at the top of the key, chucking 30-footers, shooting at 20% efficiency. They don't care. They are impressed with the guy that just gets points on the board. Now think about this, ready? If your teammates find you on 2 backdoor cuts, that's 4 points. If your constant movement gets you open for 2 threes, that's another 6. That's 10 points without a single difficult play. Tough buckets are cool, but easy points are even better. Now, let's talk about playing to your strengths. Growing up, I was the short, unathletic kid, and I struggled for many years. But when I decided to put all my energy into becoming a knockdown shooter, everything changed. I became my team's MVP, and I made first team all-conference twice in high school. I found my weapon, and I built my game around it. And here's what that did to defenders. They had to go over top every screen and play tight on me at all times, which opened up my drive, and when that opened up my drive, that drive step back was there too. One strength made me hard to guard everywhere else. That's why I always preach the message of being a king of one thing instead of a jack of all trades when it comes to basketball. So what's your strength? What's your X factor? Don't feel guilty for using the gifts that you were given. Do you think Shaquille O'Neal felt bad for abusing his height and strength? No. Use it. If you want to stop overthinking and start dominating in games, or you're a parent watching this for your player, click the link in the description to apply for my coaching. Alright, next up. You have to attack weaknesses on defense. Most players let the defense get comfortable. They don't look for weaknesses, they don't exploit mismatches, and the defense is able to just settle in and shut them down. I remember one of my fall league games back in high school, right? It was one of the best performances of my entire career. I scored 27 points, which was not the most I ever scored, but the way I attacked the defense is what made that game so special for me. I got downhill when my defender was on my hip. I pulled up when they gave me space. Like, I went after them the entire game. And when they finally switched to a 2-3 zone to slow me down, I kept scoring anyway. Because by that point, I had figured out every weakness they had. By you doing that, you're making the defense uncomfortable no matter what they throw at you and what defensive set they go into. Screens are the most effective weapon on offense in basketball. There's a reason the pick and roll is the most run play in the NBA. It works, but most players waste them, especially young players. I had to learn this the hard way in my junior year. I was getting shut down in the pick and roll, and I always picked up my dribble too early. But once I figured out how to utilize screens effectively, everything opened up. I started catching defenses off guard. I got them out of position. I got my defender locked behind me with nowhere to go. The screen went from something that I just ran through to something I actually used. So here's what you need to do. Wait for your big to get set before you start going towards that screen. Going too early doesn't just waste the screen, it also can get your big called for a moving pick, right? That happened a lot, and I got my bigs in foul trouble. My coach was pissed off at me. You just don't want to do that. All right, this next tip is a bit unorthodox, and I actually learned it from a good friend of mine. A coach never taught me this. Every coach has told you to talk on defense, right? But I bet nobody ever told you to communicate on offense. Not communicating on offense is like playing charades without gesturing. You're just standing there and just hoping they guess, right? Your teammates are just guessing what you want them to do out there. And sometimes they don't figure it out. But basketball isn't charades, man. Like, you can just tell them. Imagine your teammates knowing exactly where to go put themselves in scoring positions every single time down the court. That's what offensive communication does. You're not hoping your teammate reads your mind, you're telling them exactly what you need. And here's the part that got me. One of my friends used this against me in pickup, and I was just dumbfounded. You can use communication to confuse the defense too. Next time you're running a pick and roll, as the offensive guy, whether you're the big man or the guard, you can yell switch or stay as the offensive guy. The defenders will start fighting amongst themselves like, bro, why'd you switch? Or, why'd you stay? Well, then they're just gonna say, well, I heard you yell switch, I heard you yell stay, right? Meanwhile, you were the one that said that the whole time. That's a weapon, man. Next, most players kill their own drives by taking too wide of an angle. They go east and west instead of north-south, and by the time they get anywhere near the basket, the defense has recovered, the spacing is broken, and the opportunity is just gone. My trainer taught me something that fixed this immediately. Imagine a line on the floor, the shortest path to the basket. That's your line. Your job is to stay on it. The defender's job is to push you off. Don't let them. Use your physicality. Get a shoulder to their chest. Bump them and go finish strong. You can go wide sometimes, sure, but if you're trying to get downhill, you decide where to go, not your defender. Last thing, you're going to make mistakes. Your basketball career is going to be filled with ups and downs. And there will be people on the sidelines trying to pull you down further. You'll get humiliated, embarrassed, and there will be moments where you feel like an idiot. But you have to say screw all of that, man. There's a verse in the Bible, James chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Amen. Most people are so comfortable being average that when they see someone striving for something bigger, they try to pull them down to their level out of insecurity instead of putting in the work to catch up to them. Don't let other people bring you down, man. If you have a dream, if you have a vision, you have a mission, chase after it. And when you get those pains, those moments where everything feels like it sucks, you feel stupid, like, oh my gosh, wow, why am I even trying? Why bother? Those are the moments where most people quit. And yes, it sucks. Alright, you're gonna feel stupid at times, but if you truly want to be successful, you have to get over that. Now look, what does that look like on the basketball court? Well, that looks like taking that open shot you've been practicing all week without hesitation. It means diving on the floor for a loose ball. It means being a try-hard, because try-hards get things done, man.
He will hang on to the possession. It goes to Stanwood. Stanwood inside. They'll get the shot off. It's good! Unbelievable! Boston calls the timeout, but will they get it? Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
So my final message is be unapologetic. Now, if you would like to learn how to increase your points per game fast, click this video. But as always, keep God first. Stay blessed, bro. I love y'all, man.